And welcome back once again to Perks Recap Podcast. A lot of fun yesterday with the baseball podcast, but we're back to football today. It is on to week 5. Al, you ready to get into this? Let's go over what happened in week 4.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Another crazy week in the NFL, man.
Okay. Well, we'll start out with the Thursday game. My Cowboys did just enough to get the win, 20-15, and did not come away unscathed, unfortunately.
Well, they got dinged up bad. Two real important people, right?
Yep, Micah Parsons and Demarcus Lawrence are both out. Lawrence is out multiple weeks. He already got put on IR, so that's at least 4 weeks. Parsons isn't going to play Nick in week 5. They don't know anything beyond that though, so he might be okay for week 6. But either way, big losses. Um, I hate to say this. I mean, we both got this right. We both picked Dallas to win. But Daniel Jones is looking okay. He did not look bad at all. Again,
Yeah. No, listen, I was going to say the same thing. He has stepped up into solid mediocrity, and you know, and even if you want to rip him for throwing a pick, it was a last minute heave. So I'm like, I can't even do that.
right, right. I mean, he's going into become a media, like you said, mediocrity. But I mean, before he was a dumpster fire, and he's not anymore.
Yeah. Now listen, he's played well for 2 weeks, so I'm not ready to anoint him anything.
No.
But for him not to be throwing pick sixes all over the place is definitely an improvement. So,
Yep.
take
Yep.
what you can get. And I mean, like, now let me ask you this. This is what I was thinking about this, and I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if either of us do, but I'm curious to your thoughts. If he plays like that for the rest of the season, which was 29 for 40, 281 yards, no touchdowns, and a garbage time pick, um, does he keep the job? Do they want him back?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
The
But
only way he keeps the job is if they make the playoffs and he wins another game, and they make the playoffs largely because of him down the stretch. He's got to be like one of the best quarterbacks in the league for an extended period in with success, and they make the playoffs or in that range. I think that's the only way they would bring him back, and even then, I'm not entirely sure if they will.
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of Daniel Jones truthers out there that love this guy, and some of them have to be in New York or he wouldn't still be there. So I'm just, it's interesting because I can't believe he even got another shot this year the way he played the previous 20 games or so. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there because I think it's interesting.
Yep, it is interesting. Um, and my takeaway on the Cowboys side is they're not that good. That's just all there is to it. They're part of the muck,
Yeah.
and they're going to be, 500 area. I would say probably on the upper side of the 500 since there isn't really a true 500. So like a 9-7 type, or nine
Nine
and
and,
eight type.
yeah.
And that's about it though. I think that's the ceiling because they're just not that good. Their defense is terrible. It's still terrible, and now we have 2 big losses on the defense, so they're really screwed. I mean, the next 4 weeks, I don't know how they're going to get any pressure. I don't know how they're going to win any games. It's going to be very difficult. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I was kind of down on them coming in, but I was starting to get a little bit of hope after the first week. But then, this is who they are. They're going to be around 500. They're going to lose one, win one, lose one, win one.
Yeah, the only hope for them is to get back the two guys that lost this week, and it's Deron Bland that's hurt, right?
Right. And Bland will be back. I'm thinking he actually might even be back this week, if not the week after. He's real close to coming back. So that will be very helpful on the pass defense for sure, because him and Diggs, that's a great combo for
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yep.
But they're not going to get any pressure, and nobody can cover for that long.
No, that's well, and they're already terrible run. I know they had a pretty good week against Devin Singletary, but it's exactly what I said in the preview thing. They didn't have the guy to test them. They had a perfect guy to shut down.
Yeah, he had 24 yards.
Right, and they did exactly what they should against a really mediocre run game. You know what I mean?
Right,
Um,
right.
which is the best they've done all year. So maybe there would be some hope to take from that if they didn't lose the two best players on their defensive line in the same game. So yeah,
That's
their pass
terrible.
defense is going to get better. Here's the thing, though, for long term, when they have all three of those guys back, assuming Lawrence comes back this season, which I think he's supposed to, right?
Yeah, it's a
Like a 4 game IR.
I think it's a high ankle sprain.
Okay, so it's probably like a 6 to 8 week thing.
Yeah, hang on. I actually have it here. I
Oh,
have all
cool.
the injuries listed. Let's see here. Cowboys. Demarcus Lawrence placed on IR with a foot injury. Doesn't say what.
The old foot injury. It sounds like
Oh,
Belichick made up that
reportedly
report.
has a Liz Frank injury
Oh, the old Liz Frank.
and was in a walking boot.
Man, okay, okay.
Micah Parsons also in a walking boot.
And am I correct that I heard that that's the first time he's going to miss a game in his career this coming week?
Parsons?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I heard. I thought I read that, and I wasn't. I kind of skimmed over it, and then later I was like, "Did I read that?" that's tough, dude.
Parsons is just an ankle. Is just a sprained ankle.
Yeah, so he'll be back in soon enough. But when they have all three of those guys back in place, they have a chance to at least be a solid defense again.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to see, but we're weeks away from that now.
Right. Oh, you're probably 6 weeks minimum away from it. So,
Okay.
now I'll tell you what. Now's a good time to pick up Prescott in your fantasy leagues because they are going to be playing a lot of high scoring affairs. I think.
I think so too. Okay. Anything else to add there?
No, other than I just want to say I have no idea still what the Giants are. I think they're a bottom. I know they're a bottom third team. I'm just not sure how bad in the bottom third.
Yeah. I
They played
don't.
a depleted Cowboy team and you know barely put up 10 points. What was the final
Now
score?
Is Malik Neighbors out?
Well, he had the concussion on a Thursday, so a lot of people are holding out hope that he'll be able to play because he has those extra couple days. Normally anymore you get a concussion, you miss a week minimum. But
That kid is so good.
oh, he's unbelievable. He's
12,
unbelievable.
12 catches, 115 yards.
Yeah, no, he's something else, man. He's special. He is really special. And it's funny because I was wrong twice. Like I thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be the. I mean, listen, we were splitting hairs. I liked them both, but
Yeah.
if I had to pick one, I would have taken Marvin Harrison like the Cardinals did, and I would have taken Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels, and I was wrong on both early returns anyway.
Yep.
I'm not
Oh.
seeing any news about he's in the concussion protocol. Check on. Oh no, never mind. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, no, just keep your eyes on it. Anybody that's concerned with him in fantasy or in real life, because it'll probably be a late week thing.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Atlanta takes out New Orleans 26-24. Second loss in a row for New Orleans after the hot start. Atlanta might be rounding into form a little bit here. Cousins is starting to play a little better. And they won 26, like I said, 26-24. We both got this one right. We both picked Atlanta, and we both picked pretty close games, and that's exactly what it was. You had 27-24, so you were almost dead on.
Almost nailed one finally.
I I had 24-21. But either way, we got it right. Atlanta, like I said, seems to be rounding into form a little bit. I did pick them to win the division again. And oh wait, did I or did we pick Tampa Bay?
No, I'm pretty sure we both picked Atlanta. I'd have to
Yeah,
go
I think
back, but
so.
I'm pretty
I
sure
think
because I
so.
I did not believe in Tampa again coming into the season, and yeah, we'll get to that soon enough.
Yeah.
Um,
But New Orleans, yeah, they're just kind of ho hum and another team in the muck. Atlanta is probably in the muck as well, but they're a little better. I think it's just, they were at home and they won a close one.
yeah, no doubt. Now, I didn't get to see this game. I went back and watched highlights and read up on it, and boy, am I glad I did because it's a very different picture than what the score paints. And I don't know what to make of it. Again, it's the season of not knowing what to make of things.
Yep.
Check this out. Did you realize this? This is how the Falcons got to 26 points. They got a fumble return for a touchdown. They got a 47-yard interception return, and they got 4 field goals.
Yeah. So they're not exactly the offensive juggernaut in this one.
Exactly. And Kirk is easing in, but he still only threw for 238 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. So, and I like him. I mean, he's going to be fine. He's not their problem. But we're not quite there yet with them settling into this new thing. Yeah. And boy, just a quick fantasy side note. You got to be sweating Bijan a little bit all of a sudden, which is one of the last things I thought I'd say coming into this season. He got outrushed again by Algier. He got outcarried by Algier, which is the really surprising part. 7 rushes for 28 yards, 4 catches for 46 yards.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he had a hamstring injury because he was limited in practice, or limited in the listed as a limited participant in Monday's walk around or whatever they do on Monday, with a hamstring, and he's actually questionable for Thursday night. So that might have played a part in it.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, and as for New Orleans, yeah, they're just in the muck, another team in the muck.
Yeah, I don't take much from this game. The Falcons won on 4 field goals and 2 defensive touchdowns. So you're not going to win that way in the NFL every week. So and then the Saints weren't good either. So I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
In the muck, like you said.
All right. Cincinnati gets off the snide, get a win against Carolina in Carolina, 34-24. So they put up some points. There was a great play. I don't know if you saw it. Jamar Chase had one of the best receptions and run backs, yards after catch for a touchdown that I've seen in a while. That was excellent.
I did see that, and that was something else, man. Yeah, no, he could have been gotten a few times, and he just kept plowing through people. That was great.
Um, just so you know, Shaq Thompson in that game, and he tore his Achilles. He's out for the year
Yes,
for the
what a shame.
Panthers.
Yep. I mean, like they need more to deal with.
Yep.
Oh, I hate it. That's just a shame for them. But yeah, no. Though, and the one thing we also learned that the Red Rifle is not going to just lead them to the promised land.
No, he's the Red Rifle, so we know exactly what he is.
Yeah, he's a solidly 500 quarterback, so he's going to be okay. He's going to help your fantasy team. I mean, I hope Deontay Johnson was useless. Now he's averaging 14 targets a game in 2 games with Andy Dalton. Love it. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about that one. The Bengals, the only real take I have from this is that the Bengals actually won a game they should win in the first 4 games of a season.
Right, and they got to get off the snide here if this is this is what they're doing. It was nice to see. Oh wait, no, that's not. That's the wrong game. Nice to see Chuba Hubbard get over 100 yards.
2 games in a row now.
Right, so there might be something there.
Yeah, I'm
But you're
stunned. I
right. I
mean, like
don't have a whole
the
lot to
whole
add here.
offense has changed. Sorry, man, I got excited there. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
we
the whole
both got
offense
that
has
one right.
changed.
We both got that one right. You're right. The whole offense has changed.
Yeah, so they're still not a good team, but the offense is fantasy viable at least.
Yeah. Okay, on to what we got wrong. The Rams coming off that win, we thought they would be able to handle Chicago because Chicago has no offense. And all of a sudden, Chicago showed up. 24-18, Chicago wins. We both got it wrong. We both picked the Rams. And what do you got about on this one?
Well, okay, I just buried DeAndre Swift last week, so I got to give him credit when he had a great game. Uh,
He
he
really did.
16 rushes, 93 yards, and a touchdown. And this is where this next stat is where if you're not doing this with DeAndre Swift, you're wasting him on your roster. And it's good to see the Bears finally figured it out in week 4. 7 catches for 72 yards.
Yeah, that's where he can really excel.
That's where he's special, man, and that's where the Eagles screwed up royally. They just, I don't know, I still don't know. It's a whole other subject. But they bring in one of the best catch passing running backs in football last year, and they throw him the ball 12 times. You know what I mean? I mean, there was a little more than that, but not nearly enough. So, anyway, it's good to see the Bears recognize it in week 4. Hopefully, they keep using it because that's where he's really going to excel.
Yep. And the Rams just solidly in the muck. These injuries are catching up to them.
Yeah,
Their offense struggles. And what did you think of Caleb?
Caleb was a lot better. I mean, it's still Um, they're still keeping the shackles on him pretty good, and they had a lead this game, so they didn't have to let him loose. But he had a good game for what they asked of him, 17 to
I think
23.
that's what I was alluding to. I think he definitely had a good game. I think it might be his best one.
No, I agree because yeah, 17 to 23, a buck 57, a touchdown, no picks. He had a lot more yards last week when they were playing from behind, but he had 2 picks, so this was a lot cleaner game. So
Right. I
yeah,
think they like you said, they didn't ask him to do too much, but what they did ask, he did well.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Exactly.
All
Nice.
right. Let's see here. I just want to check to see. Okay, there was no big injuries there. I don't think. Okay. Uh, Minnesota over Green Bay, 31-29.
Whew.
This is one that I got right with Minnesota, and you picked Green Bay.
Yes.
Um, Jordan Love came back, but he threw three picks. But at least he came back, and he looked. He didn't have some numbers at least.
Yeah, he threw for like 380 yards.
Yeah, so he had the numbers up there. Let's see, he threw for 389 yards and four touchdowns.
Yeah, and the
That's,
three picks obviously is no good, but the rest of it is astounding, especially first week back from your pretty not insignificant injury.
yep, and Jaden Reed has emerged as their number one for sure.
Oh, he's a stud. Yeah, absolutely, 100% with you on that.
139 yards there for him. Um, let's see here. Minnesota, the reassessment has got to be official now.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. 100%. Darnold is no joke. It's all come together for him. He's in whether it's the perfect system. I hate when people just say that because you got to be a good player too. But everything has come together for him. His years in the NFL, his years on the bench after failing as a first round pick, and he is now a real player. Like, it is no joke. Um, and this is a real team. I'm stunned. I am beyond stunned here. It's fascinating to think what would have happened if McCarthy hadn't gotten hurt. If they would have shoved him into the lineup, no matter what Darnold did at some point, or even in game one, you know what I mean? But boy, it didn't work out that way, and Darnold is grabbing his opportunity, and he is going to be a even richer man. I assume he's on a 1 year deal here.
Right, he's got to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's looking great. They're 4-0. They have this has to be considered now for them to really have a big year. And like you said, like I said, the reassessment is for sure. There's no doubt about it now. They are not what we thought they were at the beginning of the year. They're much better.
100% with you, my man. Yeah, they are. They are legit. They are a legit Super Bowl contender in the NFC.
Yep, and good on Green Bay in terms of keeping it really close, and also Love coming back and putting up the big numbers. Got to get rid of the three picks, obviously, but I still have. I don't didn't really change my opinion much on Green Bay. I still think they're a pretty good team.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to be a hard out in the playoffs when it's all said and done. I think.
Yep. Okay. Uh, Houston over Jacksonville,
Hmm.
24-20. I wrote that weird. I
Yeah, you're
think that it
right
was.
though.
I think it was 24-20.
No, you're right. You got
Okay. Okay.
it.
We both got this one right. We both picked Houston. We picked them on a much bigger number because Jacksonville actually showed up a little bit and played well.
Yeah, they
And
did.
for there was a time for the game that I thought they were going to pull it off, like a few times. They played really well, and they had that game.
No doubt. I mean, the Texans had to score a touchdown with 18 seconds left to win that game.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
was this was no gimme.
yeah, they kind of blew it, obviously, but still, they had that one, and they let it slip. They let them off the hook, as Dennis Green would
Dennis
say.
Green. I love it. Don't get me going. I'll start just quoting famous press conferences.
You want
I'm
to
a man.
crown them,
I'm
crown
40.
them. You want to crown them, crown their ass.
Yeah,
We
man. We
had
can
them,
start
and we
going
let
Mike
them off the
Glusky.
hook.
We'll start going Herm Edwards. I love it. I love it.
I met Dennis Green once, or a few
Did?
times. He worked at ESPN the same time I did.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Did you let him off the hook?
It was at the time when the Giants were floundering, and there was big rumors that they were going to get a new coach. And I asked him if he was interested in that job, and he was like, "No."
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, man. Oh, hey, little side note before we get back to the games. Scrolling on ESPN, as right when we started, Jason Peters back in the NFL at 42 years old playing left
Wow.
tackle for the Seahawks. I believe I saw. Let me make sure about that real quick. But I mean, he played unbelievable. He's a Hall of Famer. And he played unbelievably for 10 seasons or so for the Eagles. And he left 5 years ago or so, and he's still playing. It's incredible.
Wow, wow. Um,
Yeah, Seahawks. Yep.
C.J. Stroud, big numbers, 345, two
Woo!
touchdowns, and Nico Collins is definitely their number one. 12 catches, 151 yards, and a touch. Highest receiver of the week.
Yeah, I'm with you
Um,
on that. He's
he's their
definitely their
guy.
number one. He's the guy. He's a stud. The other guys are great, are very good receivers. Diggs is still very good. Tank Dell is a nice up and comer, but this guy is a monster.
Yeah, Nico's very, very good.
He's a monster.
Okay. So nothing. The opinion on Jacksonville. They played a lot better and on the road. So maybe there's some hope for them to at least salvage a few wins. They're not going to be a playoff team or anything, but I think there's a chance for them to get like in the muck a little bit because they're below it right now. I would say,
Yeah.
uh, and I think Houston's above it. I still have high expectations for Houston.
I completely agree with both things. Yeah, the Jag season is over. I mean, they're 0-4. They're toast. But they played a lot better. This was their best game of the season, and they, like you said, they have a chance to crawl back up and be presentable. I don't know if they can save. I don't know. They can. I mean, if they, like I said last week, if they win 10 out of 12 games at any point this season, they're, Doug Peterson's back. But realistically, Peterson is scraping for his job. I don't know if he's going to make it out of there.
Yeah, he might not. I probably not. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I agree.
okay. This one makes no freaking
Oh,
sense.
I think I know where you're going. Hit me.
Colts 27, Pittsburgh 24. We both picked Pittsburgh. No sense does this make because Anthony Richardson got hurt. Uh, Jonathan Taylor got banged up.
Yeah,
Um, it makes no sense. Justin Fields put up 312 yards. I
yeah.
mean,
He played unbelievable.
but so what the hell?
Well, here's where it does make sense. Here's where I'll make sense of it for you. They won because Anthony Richardson got hurt. Joe
Yeah,
Flacco played great. All of a sudden, receivers that were dead in the water, Michael Pittman, uh, were viable again.
yeah.
Uh,
Michael Pittman 6 catches, 113 yards.
Right, and that was his best game of the year by far. And listen, I love the potential of Anthony Richardson, but we are still in the potential phase. He's a terrible quarterback right now, that can make unbelievable throws every now and then, but he's a subpar quarterback for sure. And I listen, if I were the Colts, I still love that I have him. I think he can be a player, but it is not there yet. So the second he got hurt, that team took off, and that's what happened.
Right. Apparently, they're going to stick with him if he's uh, Richardson. If he's healthy, he's going to be the quarterback.
I would too. I mean, listen, for the future of that franchise, now maybe not for this season, but for the future of that franchise, he has to be a player, or they're they need to know by the end of this season if he's a player or not. So they know what the hell to do with this guy. And so I'd play him too, even though Flacco gives you a better chance to win. But I might have a little bit of a quicker trigger finger depending on the circumstances of the game.
So how does Pittsburgh let this happen?
That's a good question. I don't know what happened with their defense.
Yeah,
They're
because the Colts they gave up 27 points.
Yeah, no, this was the Steelers D was averaging giving up 10 points a game going into this game.
Yeah, and the Colts don't exactly light up the scoreboard enough to make you think they're going to be the one team to go score 27.
No doubt. No, I completely agree. I don't know, man. That's an odd one, and it's probably just one of these things happen kind of things, but it doesn't make sense on paper for sure. It was Flacco, like Flacco, 16 for 26, 2 touchdowns, no picks, man. The dude can still play. It's crazy.
It's time to keep an eye on Russell Wilson. Apparently, he's going to practice this week with a chance to play. And I'm here. I just heard a rumor, through the grapevine a little bit that if he might still be considered the starter, so he might be replacing Fields.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I hope they
If
don't. I hope
if
they don't.
if that's true, then I just lost a lot of respect for Mike Tomlin because look at that stat line and tell me why he should not be the quarterback.
Yeah,
and he's just gotten better and better every week.
He had 104 rating.
Yeah. Plus, he ran for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He brings that extra element, and he's playing solid quarterback. So it doesn't make any sense to me that they would just put him back in. Listen, if he has a bad game, all bets are off. But you know, until that happens, if they put him in this week, it's one of the craziest coaching decisions I've ever heard in my life.
Well, here we go. It says Coach Mike Tomlin says Wilson will have a strong work day on Tuesday and will have a live pocket. And then it says how practice goes will determine whether he plays on Sunday or if Justin Fields gets another start. That makes it seem to me that if Russell Wilson can play, he's going to play.
Yeah, I don't like that source. Whoever that is, I think they're full of it.
CBS Sports.
That's oh man, yeah. Which guy? Who's the?
I don't know
Okay,
who. Hang on, I can tell you in a second because it's a whole injury report thing.
yeah, because
Um,
CBS is credible. They just have a couple guys I don't like there though. They talk out
well,
their ass.
this is on their website, so this is the writers. You're not going to know either one of them. It's Shayna McCarriston and Kyle Stackpole.
Okay, okay.
But I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. Fields has done nothing to lose that job, and it will be disheartening if he does.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So, but that does blow my theory that Wilson was healthy this whole time, and they just decided to go with Fields.
Okay, another one that makes no sense. Denver on the road takes out the Jets 10-9. We both got this one wrong as well. We got the Indianapolis Pittsburgh one wrong as well. Just an absolute disaster for the Jets. 10-9. What a horrible, horrible game too. Like how can you imagine sitting through that?
No,
My God,
I
that was a
can't. I really
disaster.
like that. Just sounds awful. Bo Nix, by the way, had -7 passing yards at the half,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they won the game.
Well, because the Jets couldn't do anything for some reason, Denver's defense looked like inspired for some reason. Their defense played better than it has all year for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And listen, I think that I'm ready to say I overrated the Jets. I mean, they are not that good. I mean, they Morgan Moses gets hurt and they can't do anything. And Morgan Moses is a decent player, but he's a 35-year-old, okay
They were
tackle.
all over Rodgers. Rodgers got banged around.
Yeah, Brees Hall rushed 10 times for 4 yards.
You know what? That kid Allen might even be better.
Yeah, he's good. I don't know if he's better. There's a lot of guys in the history of the NFL that get backup running back carries and look better than the starter, and then they start and they're not. So I'm not ready to
Right.
say that yet. But because Brees Hall's damn good, but the problem is this offensive line stinks. Especially, I mean,
Again.
they can't afford to miss one guy, and that's what happened this week. And they were bad, bad, bad. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about this game. I mean, are the Jets? You
It's
know,
just an ugly game, and it doesn't really change my opinion on Denver. It might change my opinion on the Jets. They got another tough one next week, which we'll get into in the preview podcast. But yeah, for right now, the Jets, they've gone down a little bit for me, down a notch.
I agree.
And can they get back up there? Sure. Are they still kind of learning along the way? Sure. But for right now, I'm not impressed at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. It doesn't. Everything you said there. It doesn't change my opinion much on the Broncos. It lowers my opinion on the Jets for sure. How much I'm not sure, but it definitely. You know, I'm not. I'm not particularly thrilled that I picked them. I'm pretty sure I picked them to win the AFC East. I'm not particularly thrilled about that right now. But the AFC East is pretty bad all of a sudden. So, except for the Bills. So, yeah, it's wild. I don't know. Yeah, just an awful game, and I'm just going to reserve a whole much of my opinion until I see both of them play again. I don't know what to make of it.
Yep. All right, man.
Here we go.
33-16. Honestly, it really even wasn't that close. Uh, Baker Mayfield threw at will, and Philadelphia. You just go ahead. It's your team. I got actually picked Tampa and got the win. You picked Philly and got the loss. But 33-16 is not what I was expecting. I picked Tampa Bay to win by 31-27.
Yeah.
I don't. What the hell happened? What the hell is going on in Philadelphia? And I understand the wide receivers, but still,
Well, listen, I did the listeners and my team a disservice last week by not talking about the injury, so I have to correct that. And but still is not even saying enough about these injuries. They were missing their top three receivers because Britton Covey was out too, who's their third receiver, and their Hall of Fame right tackle Lane Johnson.
yep.
So that is difficult for anybody to overcome. Now, having said that, they played like ass. Um, I don't know what to make of this defense. They just shut down the Saints, who knows how good they are, but they just, they put up a lot of points against the Falcons again this week. So I think they're real, kind of. And then they let the Bucks walk all over them. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of them. It is really disappointing. And by the way, it was actually closer than the score, despite what you said. They were down 30-16 and were driving. And Hurts, who has displayed now, this is something it's starting to drive me crazy with Hurts, and I love him. I'm on his side, but he, when you see the guy who was always the best athlete on the field, and then he gets to the NFL and makes an assumption that he is safe when he's not because he's used to being faster than everybody.
Is that Hurts?
That's what I'm starting to see because what happened was, I mean, they were driving, they were on the Bucks 20-yard line, down 30-16 in late third or early fourth. I didn't write it down, but it was still plenty of time left. And he was rolling out. He didn't realize somebody was coming up on his ass, and he got strip sacked.
Yep.
And they recovered it. Ball game. You know what I mean? So, but check this out. This is why I can't overstate the injuries enough. You ready for their starting receivers this week?
Go ahead.
The biggest name would be Jahan Dotson, who they traded for 3 days before the season started and hasn't done anything so far. Um, Johnny Wilson is the other guy who played the most. If you've ever heard of Johnny Wilson, I'm impressed. He was a sixth round draft pick. He's 6'6".
No.
I kind of like his potential, but he's not good yet. You know what I mean? And then the other two receivers, and one of them got the touchdown. John Ross, the
Wow.
former, yeah. When was the last time you heard that name? The former Combine 40 record holder.
And the
Uh,
Cardinal. He used to play for the Cardinals, right?
correct. And Paris Campbell.
Oh, geez.
That was your starting receivers, Craig. So I'm not going to hold this one too much against them. What I am going to hold it against them is on the defensive side. I can't hold it against the offense too much, except
Well,
for
the reason why I said it wasn't that close is because at no point in that game did I ever think Philadelphia had a snowball's chance in hell to win that game.
hey man,
From the very start, I was like, they are not winning this game. There's no chance. And I honestly think if Tampa Bay needed to, they could have just kept scoring right along. I think they kind of almost let up on the gas a little bit.
nah, no they didn't.
I
I
I
watched
think they
every
could have
play of that
scored
game.
50 if they wanted to.
Nah. The Eagles defense shut them down in the second half. They did not stop trying to score. They weren't just running the ball. They were throwing the ball. That's an incorrect assessment. I got to argue that.
I don't
Also,
think so, man. I think they could have scored 50 points easily.
yeah. Well, why didn't they then? Because who lets up on the gas pedal in the NFL anymore?
Tampa Bay, apparently.
Yeah, well, no, apparently not because they didn't score. Yeah, I mean, listen, I respect your opinion, but that to me is silly. Because again, if the Eagles score on that drive where Jalen Hurts gets strip sacked, listen, the game was close. It was in the second half. Eagles were ready to pull within 7.
Right, yeah. Yep, they were. But again, I don't know. I'm just watching the game, and I never thought they were going to win.
Yeah, well, and that's easy to say now, but if what would you have thought if they had scored a touchdown and made it 23-30?
I'd be saying, "Wow, I'm surprised that it got that's gotten this close."
Right.
But it would have been a surprise because I wasn't expecting that at all. Watching that game, I was like, Tampa Bay is absolutely going to win this game, and it might be a blowout. At one point, they had like something over. I heard a stat. They had over 200 yards, and the Eagles had zero in like the second quarter.
Yeah, and
Zero net yards.
absolutely, and like a lot of these Vic Fangio games, they knuckled down, and they're Vic is getting torn up early, and then settling down.
Right.
Um,
He's got to avoid the
yeah,
early
so
turn.
like that's another reason. There's no chance in hell they were scoring 50 in that game, Craig. No chance.
I don't know. I let well. I'll just my main point though is I just never thought they were going to win. I didn't seem like they were going to win that game at any point to me.
Yeah, that's fair, and I thought they could. I mean, because if they go down 23-30 with a quarter left, I don't know who could say they couldn't win that game.
Right. Right. I mean, and not picking on your team and rival. When Dallas was playing New Orleans, at no point did I ever think they were going to win that game. So
Absolutely.
you go into these games thinking one thing, and you see a complete opposite, and it's consistently happening for you know an entire half. You're like, well, that's it. That's what this game is, and they're screwed.
Yeah, right, right. I get that. I get that. But that game did play out that way. They ended up losing by 35. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah, no, the other thing about this game is what the hell's Tampa? They have been pretty awesome in 3 games and horrendous in one.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we could just chalk it up to things happen, and that's just you know a bad week, and that's all there is to it right now.
That's kind of where I lean, but again, man, I just it's that division. All those teams in that division are so hard to trust because none of them have been really good for a long time since I guess since Drew Brees retired. You know what I mean? Um, and I don't know what any of them are. And I just every time I want to, I finally bought into the Bucks and they got dusted by a crappy team. So I'm so hesitant with this team. I don't know what to make of them.
Well, their defense is still for the Eagles. The defense is still a big question mark for me.
Oh, for sure.
Um, they are once again. I mean, I just looked it up to see they are 27th in defense so far. They are 29th against the pass and 21st against uh, the run, and the 27th overall. And that's not going to get the job done. They need to be, they should. They not only that, the talent on the field, the coaching, they should be better than that, and they're still not. And it's very concerning. You got to be concerned with the defense.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's again, I don't know whether to be patient with Fangio or what because and listen, if they end up the season where they are now defensively, then you got to start wondering if everybody, the Eagles, every talent and analyst I'm aware of has completely overrated everything about this defense cuz now you've had 2 guys, actually 3 guys because they brought in that idiot from the Patriots
Yep.
Matt, whatever, Patricia for a few games last year. That's 3 guys over the course of 34 games that have had a chance to make this defense look presentable, and none of them will have accomplished it. So if this run, I don't expect it to. I really do think they're better than they are, but or right now. But holy crap! I mean, if you go 2 full seasons that way, you're kind of like who was it that said you are what you are?
Yeah. Bill Parcells.
Parcells, yeah.
Um, Last thing, anything to make about Sirianni and Jalen Hurts?
I don't know what to make of this whole situation. Hertz
Because
is an
people are
interesting
talking
guy.
about it. It was on first take the other day, in Stephen A. Not that I'm a big fan of Stephen A., but he was like, something is wrong in Philadelphia. I'm not even sure what it is, but something is not right here. And I normally don't agree with him, but I agree with him there. Something is wrong. What's going on?
I don't know, man. It's hard to read the tea leaves because there's nothing definitive. Hertz is such an interesting guy. He's so mellow, and he's very chill. He's not uh, talking smack about anybody or anything. But he will, every now and then, when asked about Sirianni, he will kind of damn by omission. Like he just won't answer the question or he'll sideway around it. And in Philly, people jump all over that. And whether he means anything by it or he's just trying to be political, I don't know. You know? But and then Sirianni has somehow become one of the least respected head coaches in football. It seems to me, all of a sudden, over the last starting, after they were 10-1 last year, starting with that collapse. Um, And
What did he say though? What did Hurts say in the press conference? Because that's what they're talking about.
let me
Something
see.
about they're not friends or they don't talk during the bye week or
Yeah, there.
something about they don't communicate and it's like, well, that's not good, obviously.
Yeah. Let me find it real quick. But the other thing is he's not the offensive coordinator. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Um, who does sit down and talk to their head coach on bye weeks?
I don't exactly know what it was. Something about their communication that didn't
Oh, here
sit
we go.
well.
This might be it. Let me see. Yeah, look. I mean, this is the kind of headline I'm seeing in Philly, man. Calls mount for Eagles to fire Nick Sirianni after Jalen Hurts shows no respect.
There you
Disconnect.
go. There you go.
The next one says disconnect remains between Eagles QB Jalen Hurts, head coach Nick Sirianni. Um,
Do
I
you
don't know.
think Sirianni would be in jeopardy if the season goes sideways? Do you think he's in jeopardy?
If they finish under 500, for sure.
What if they finish 9-7 and as the last wild card and lose in the first game again?
I think he'll survive one more year if that's the case. But it depends kind of how it happens. If they get dusted 48-2 in the that wild card game, it's a whole different conversation. But and I might even be wrong about that because things are just it's just I've never seen a relatively. I listen. I know that forget the collapse for 1 second last year. I know it's a massive factor in all this, but he still made the playoffs. So I've never seen a coach go playoffs, Super Bowl playoffs, and be so much on the hot seat.
Right.
It's
Well,
wild,
the
and I
thing is
get it.
too is
And
bringing in Saquon and the fact that he's doing so well, and you're still just 2-2, and at times look like they did yesterday. Even though yes, they had the receivers and everything on offense, but the defense is still just not holding up their end right now.
yeah, no, 100%. They have issues on both sides of the ball. They Hertz has to improve his decision making. He's gotten sloppy with the ball, and the last 2 seasons now, and he wasn't a turnover machine his first 2 years. He wasn't at all, and now in the last 2 years, now he's a tick behind on his awareness. He's getting strip sacked. He's making throws that don't make sense. So even I don't know. Oh, here it is. What was said was Hertz's response to a question from a reporter Sunday who asked whether Sirianni and Hertz would get together and deliver a message to the team. Hertz's response was cryptic. He said, "We have our moments," which doesn't answer. That's what I was talking about. How he doesn't answer the question. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is what happens in Philly.
Yep.
It's not even Philly. It's ESPN. It's Jeff Saturday. Now, that quote is not him saying, "Blow me, Sirianni, screw you, I can't stand you." That's just him being cryptic and weird to me. You don't do you hear that and say, "Here, screw you, Sirianni"?
No, I don't.
Okay, because here's what Jeff Saturday said based off that quote. That and this is a quote. That to me just shows he has no respect for Nick Sirianni. What the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, that I don't see that. Um, I do see there is some sort of a disconnect though.
That I agree with. But
But you know what? They've got the 2 weeks now. Now's the time to try to get your defense situated, get healthier, and get your offensive weapons back and healthy, and let's start going here. Not that I'm a fan, but you know, for Philadelphia Eagles fans and the team, it's time to start getting straight here, and let's answer these questions that people have, that I have, and go out and have the season that we're expected to have.
I completely agree. They need to come off this by firing. It's all excuses times are over for Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. It is they've had 4 seasons and a bye to get it going, and they're going to be what they are. So, and if
Yep.
any team ever needed I was annoyed when I saw they had that week 5 bye when the schedule came out,
Yeah,
but
but now they needed it.
do they really need it? Because man, they'll come back with a healthy AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Lane Johnson. So,
Yeah.
um, man, wow. And if you don't mind me breaking off this real quick, because it's been a running storyline on our podcast for the life of our pod now on ESPN on NFL Live as we were talking Eagles. Here's breaking news. Raiders tell teams they would consider trading Devontae Adams. It's back on, buddy.
Oh, here we go.
And when we get to a certain game, we'll talk about a team that is going to need to seriously consider that, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be the Jets, I think.
Who?
As well, the Jets.
Oh, interesting.
That's because he's been saying he wants to play with Rodgers again.
That's a good point. Yeah, I just, man, it's the damn Chiefs need a receiver so bad.
Yes, they do. Um, Real quick, Baker Mayfield 347, 2 touchdowns, only got sacked twice. I'm trying to see any top stats from the game. That's really it. Yeah, he kind of distributed to everybody. But anyway, we got to move on. We definitely spent enough time on that game, but it was warranted. There was a lot to talk about.
Yeah, a lot going on in that one for sure.
Okay, another one we got we both got wrong. By the way, this is your fourth wrong in a row. My third out of four.
Jeez. Oh Lord, another bad tough week, man. Another tough week.
Yeah. Arizona loses to Washington 42-14, and we both picked Arizona. What were we thinking? Jaden Daniels is the man.
I'm
He is
telling you.
the real deal, no doubt about it. This guy has got them playing great. Washington is going to be a player in this division. I got a feeling there's a chance they can even win the division.
Yeah, it's not unheard of now. I listen. This is this year. My note that I wrote here is: Are the Commanders this year's Texans?
Yeah, they could win the division. If not, I'll tell you what, they'll probably between the Eagles and Cowboys, somebody's probably going to end up in third behind them.
Yeah, I listen. I wouldn't bet against that now. I really wouldn't. If you had if you had told me that the Commanders were going to win this division, I would have said Jaden Daniels has to be a future Hall of Famer and play like it from week one. Well, guess what? He has.
But you can't. I mean, he's fun too, fun to watch, exciting.
Yeah.
He's a good interview. He doesn't seem like he's overly, being braggadocious or anything. I like the kid a lot. I really do. He's excellent, and I would love to have had him on my team for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And they're handling him well. They're doing everything right. You know, they don't have a great defense, so that's going to hold them back a little. But boy, that offense is rocking. Terry McLaurin must feel like a guy who just got out of the gulag in Siberia after 12 years of banishment, because now he has been unleashed. You still there, bud? Craig?